be right back, all right? I'm just going to get Tammy so she can introduce herself, all right? Okay. Be right back. Are recorded. Okay. So Anthony's saying here is subject to recording, just so you know. Okay. And you said on your text that you might remember some more stuff. Yeah. So let's do your phones first.
I need to. They gave me a piece of paper to transfer my contacts. Wouldn't do it for me, but
you should be able to just put them on the iCloud.
I don't know how to do this. They said to follow this app. I can't even find the app store on this phone.
Is it Android?
Yeah. So strange. I tried to transfer all the stuff from this phone to this phone last night and started syncing up like old text, like stuff I don't even have saved in here.
Were any of them from Chris?
Yeah, a few, but not many. It's pretty short. There's like 10 or 12, and there's like a few from those days, but most of it is.
Hi.
Hello.
This is Tammy.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm Stacy Galbraith.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
All right.
Getting through it?
Trying.
Yeah.
Stressing out.
Stressing out. Yeah, you look stressed out. Did you get some therapy figured out?
I'm waiting for you guys to get back to me on that, but I'm trying.
It'll help. Yeah. Does Hazel need to?
Yeah, we're going to see if Hazel comes in. So Weld County's just, I had to write a letter yesterday for Weld County to approve, to pay for her treatment.
Oh.
And then it's got to go through a board because it's kind of unusual.
Yeah.
Since she's not an eyewitness.
Right.
But it sounded like there was not going to be any opposition to it. It's just a process.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you go through the text messages, Tammy and probably Stacy will be there.
Okay.
So you guys know each other.
Okay.
Or if they reach out to you, you know that they're not the media.
Yeah. Can you guys give me your cards?
Yeah.
Really,
I got everyone.
Okay. I just
Thank
now
you.
with this new phone, it's like I got so many numbers that I'm sure I can figure out the way out. But I need to just deal with that. Like if you guys can help me get all of my contacts from this phone.
So I can get a tech guy maybe to help me because I'm bad at it too.
Give me instructions.
So this is your old phone?
This is the one that I use for communication. This is the one that's going to you guys.
Okay.
This one's mine
This
now.
is nicer.
I know. iPhones suck. I'm kind of relieved to have this back.
Okay, so you want to move contacts from there to there?
That's all I want to do. Once you guys do that, then you guys can have this phone. I mean, he gave me a way to do it, so I think I need to connect to Wi-Fi, and then I need to download this app, and then I think once I download it, I can sync it up. And I need to just download the app on both phones.
So let me get a guy who knows about Wi-Fi. Is your password still 653038?
Yes, that hasn't changed.
So that's going to be that one. And which one is getting all the new text messages? Your new phone?
I only got a few, and they're like, now I get what you're saying. Like, they're out of order, they're scrambled, they're missing. They don't make sense. I got super excited when I saw them because I was like, maybe it'll be all of them, but it's not.
So maybe what I'll ask, we have a device that maybe we can download that too.
This one too? Sorry. I mean, I don't know if that'll work, but we can try it.
Here's mine.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Kevin knows how to get a hold of us after hours, and then I'm going to do that too.
I appreciate that.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, okay. Are you giving her a spare phone? Is that what
She has her own spare phone, but when she linked her accounts, a bunch of messages between her and Chris were recovered on her new phone.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to probably just cell Brett right now
Oh, okay.
on her new phone so we don't have to take all her phones.
Yeah, no doubt.
Are you good here for a bit? Okay.
Do you want some water or anything?
Please.
Okay.
Okay, so App Store.
honored.
Appreciate it.
Anything else?
I think I'm
Okay, so we'll be in here in just a few minutes, okay?
Thank you.
coming to help us.
I would do it myself, but it's like there's so many different, I use this phone here.
Okay.
Like right now,
So it's not very new?
This is old.
Okay.
I haven't used this since like 2016. And so all these numbers on here are numbers of people I've gotten since then. What I don't want is with like the media and all this other stuff going on, is have a phone just full of unknown contacts.
Sure, I get it.
Like,
So he's going to come over and turn your Wi-Fi on and figure out how to move.
all of that.
He knows.
Okay, I'll just have to do that. I give up.
Okay. So your phone this time, do you have any objections to us looking at everything in your phone?
Why do you even need that? I'm just curious. Like, why do you need everything as opposed to stuff
So
being there?
Well, because it's easier to get. And if we're looking at all the material, let's say I take everything off your phone, I can put a date in, like let's say August 10th through the 15th, because those are critical days. But other conversations between you and Chris, or other text messages between you and Chris from June or July, then it makes it harder for me to find all those. Do you understand what I mean? It's easier for them to just take everything. I don't know. Are they?
Yeah, I mean, except for when I first met him, it was his APC thing.
Okay. And then what about your phone log? It's always his 910 number.
All the time.
Right.
Like it's always that one, or originally was his.
We talked about your GPS locating, like knowing where your phone is at certain times.
I mean, you guys can have all that. I just was like, oh my God, I have so many texts on here between me and all my friends. I'm like, do they really want all this stuff?
Well, is there anything in those texts that you'd be concerned with?
Not really.
So, well, not really, or yes or no?
No, I mean, like, the other day, my dad and I just had to do some damage control because a lot of people were like, hey, please call me, I don't know what to say. And I just told them all, like, I didn't say anything. I pretty much just said, if mediators contact you, tell them no comment. It's like, please be nice to them. You do not need to talk to them. It was like, I'm safe, I'm not in trouble, I've been breaking laws. And I was just like, just send your love and support. And that was all I said to people.
So did that prompt all the phone calls of people going,
No.
are you okay?
They were prompting me.
Right. And
That
that's
is
when
why I did that, because I didn't even want to, like, say that, but I was getting all sorts of texts from people that were like, media's trying to contact me, I don't know what to do. I didn't tell them that I was a witness. I didn't tell them anything about that. It was just like, just say no comment. I need you to do this.
Okay.
And then a couple of my, like, super, super close friends, I asked them if they would be courteous enough to take all the pictures that we had of each other off Facebook and social media, and they said yes, and that was, like, a couple of really close friends.
Is there any text messages between you and friends that reference anything that would be concerning regarding this case?
No.
Like talking about Chris? I think you've told me that you've never even really talked with
My friends about him. No, and, like, my friend's dad died last night, like, yesterday.
I'm not worried about that.
No, I know, but she started, like, oh my God, she was really drunk last night. She started, like, freaking out. She's like, I don't know what's going on in your life. She's like, I don't know if it pertains to this case. And she, like, just sent me, like, a screenshot of a news article of that case. And she was just like, she's like...
What about conversation?
I didn't mention that it had anything to do with that. She's like, I don't know if that's what it is. He works at Anadarko. She's like, I really don't give a shit. She's like, I just really need you to be here with me and my dad and this and this and this. And she was just kind of upset because I had asked her to please say no comment to the media, and it happened to be, like, right when her dad died, and I think she was feeling a little, like, yeah, but I mean, you guys can read this. There's nothing in there of me actually saying anything about it. I just told
What's your phone number on that phone?
720. It's the same phone number that's on this one. 656-9605. So no, I mean, you guys can listen
So
to this.
there was a conversation that I asked you about between you and Charlotte too.
That's the same girl.
That same girl who was freaking out.
Yeah.
So was there ever a conversation about kids with you and Charlotte? Like you, I can't remember the exact context, but you guys were talking.
Hanging out with a guy who had kids.
Okay. And
she has not even, like,
wait, all right. So your conversation about him having kids, how did that go?
I mean, I don't know, I just told her,
Is it still, did you delete that, or is it still?
No, I have no reason to delete anything else on my phone. And the reason I deleted all this stuff with Chris is because he was making me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to see it in my phone anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, let me scroll all the way back here, man. The scroll talk a lot. No, she is like...
So let's just, while we're here, because we talked about this before, but we didn't talk about the specific context of what that message said regarding to children. So obviously, the situation that we're looking at now with the death of 2 children and all the other circumstantial stuff going around in the case, I just want to make sure there was no comments ever made by you regarding, you know, children or dislike of children or love of children, either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Let me find it. I think this is where this starts. I mean, you guys can just take whatever you want out of there.
So it's easier for me to just take everything than it is to single it out. Plus, for the purposes of this case, the less exposure, you know, we already have, initially you drew concern from me when you told me you deleted everything from Chris. I've already told you that. You understand why. There's no question as to why that might cause concern. So if there's anything else that ever comes up, I have it, and then we can just discuss it. Do you understand what I mean? All right.
It's right here. This is where it starts. She starts right there. She starts talking about her and her fiance. So that was like weeks ago. And she hasn't brought it up since, really, or like connected the dots, or like said shit. I mean, you guys can look through all those texts. And I don't know when that was. That was definitely when things were going good, so this is like weeks prior, I'm just assuming. I think the date is at the top of whenever we started texting that day.
Looks, this is
We talk a lot.
August 7th.
Yeah.
So I reference everything to Sunday the 12th.
So that's the only conversation like that on there, I believe, on my phone. I don't think there's like anything else. And she even last night, like, still wasn't even, she's so worried about her dad. Other than that, there shouldn't really be anything on with other people. But you guys can just pull everything off that phone if
As
you
long
want.
as you're okay with that, that's would be
I mean,
my
if that
preference.
makes your life easier.
Well, it's not just about making it easier, it's just less. So if there's any question, like I told you before, like the 2 girls you just met did a lot of interviews in this case, they've done a lot of work. They may know things that I don't. There's no way we can all know everything. So they might go, oh, because somebody else was the one who told me about Charlotte and this message. So I've never
Well,
read
that's probably
this.
why.
Potentially,
I'm assuming that that's
Yeah.
what that is. Because I said his name. And I don't even think she's put 2 and 2 together. Because last night, it was just like the way she was talking. She wasn't like, this is him, this is it. She was like, I don't know what's going on. I just assume this is it, because this guy looked at Anadarko, but she is not even, like, processing. What?
What do you mean by, can tell he has a lot to take care of in life? What did you mean when you said that?
He has a mortgage and he has kids
Okay.
and responsibilities. And when he's a father with a house.
You're even saying in here, he's all about his kids.
Yeah. And she was like asking me somewhere in there, like, I mean, everything I had to say about him at that point was like really positive. Like, I think I made it clear that I wasn't like 100% sure this was like the man of my dreams and I was going to spend the rest of my life with him or anything, but I was enjoying the time that I was spending with him at that point.
You're referencing that he has 2 kids and then you don't like that because you want to have that experience with somebody else? Is that what?
I just said I wasn't sure if he was the one that I wanted to be with because he had already like done everything.
Okay.
Like I was like, it would be really nice to kind of like have kids and have my own marriage and all of that stuff. That was never anything I conveyed to him.
So you said he's handsome, huh? Did you send her a picture?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not attached here. Is that because from what you
I
deleted?
think it's from when I deleted all my photos of his stuff.
He's kind of short.
I mean, I talked to her in a way that I wouldn't like talk to him as like my girl, you know what I'm saying? It's
I get it. No, I'm just teasing you a little bit. Talking about shoes and
other stuff.
okay.
But then she
So
brought it up again last night, but she didn't
brought up what?
that Katie, but she didn't like connect the dots. She was like freaking out with her dad. She was really upset. She wanted me to come see her on Saturday because it's his week.
So unexpected.
Kind of, sort of. He had Parkinson's. So kind of, but not. You know what I'm saying? It was a very drawn out thing. But she's having a really hard time with it. I knew she would. And she's like, can you make the wake on Saturday? And I was like, I'm really hesitant to leave the house. And I didn't tell her that, but I was like, I don't know. I'll try. And I'm going to go, but I'm not going to tell her until it's like right before I have to be there. And
So what did she reference about? Just Chris the guy? I'm more interested.
No, she didn't even ask me if she was just like, she's like, I don't know what's going on. She's like, you can see it.
So you mentioned on your text before you were coming that there was other information that you thought of that was important again?
Yeah.
More info?
Yeah, let me get so sidetracked.
I'll look at this, will you do that? And then
I'll show you where it is.
Yeah,
There's
show
so
me.
much in here. Like, I will just say,
you guys talk a lot.
oh yeah. She is like right here. So first she sends me this, and she's not even asking me about him. She's saying he looks like her ex. That's when she first brings him up. She doesn't even mention me at that point. I don't even think she realizes it's the same guy. Like, legitimately. I think this girl is so wrapped up in all the stuff that she's got going on right now that I don't think it's even processing. I mean, you can just tell by the way that she, like, talks. See, she's all upset because I asked her to not talk to the media, and it happened to be the day that her dad died, and I'm sitting here trying to comfort her.
Is this your best friend?
Yes. This girl is like my whole world.
Alright. But you're not talking about children or your relationship with Chris or anything like that?
No, the only time I ever mentioned him was like that one day.
Okay.
And I didn't even remember that I even had like said that to her, because I just thought it was so...
What's her phone number?
720-425-7330.
So I'm not going to call her, but at some point, you might want to talk to her, just so you know. I mean, sooner or later she's going to connect the dots, or you're going to tell her, right, if she's your best friend.
I'm not going to tell her. If she figures it out, she figures it out.
Okay. If we were going to talk to her, I'd let you know beforehand. Is that fair?
Yeah, just so I can give her a heads up.
Yep.
And she apologized to me, like, she was being kind of crazy last night. She was.
So tell me about the new info that you remember.
Okay. See right here. Hold on. She says, look, man, I know you work at Anadarko. He did too. I know he murdered his wife and kids. I know he was a dog. I know you're my best friend. I know you have a good heart. I know that that guy needs to go to jail, and he will. I know you don't want publicity, and neither would I. I know that as a witness, if you say anything, it can cause a mistrial. I know you don't want that, neither do I. Fuck the media. I want my best friend here. I never fucking said anything to her about a trial.
Okay.
So,
But
see, look, she goes, I don't even care if you flirted with him or more. I know you had nothing to do with what happened, and I don't care if your job is having an open investigation. I'm not going to ask you a single question, but my pops died and you're my best friend.
okay.
And I said, please stop talking about that. And she said, what do you want, house arrest? And she just keeps saying, my father died, what the fuck? She was not okay last night, and I was just trying to, like,
Understandable.
mitigate this. And I was like trying to calm her down, and I said, Charlotte, I'm trying so hard to be the best friend I can to you right now, so I don't want to talk to you about that case. I didn't say the case, I said that case, like I wasn't even affiliated with it at all, and you need to respect that. I'm here for you regarding your dad, and you know this. And then she's
But what's
freaking out and freaking out.
You guys never had a conversation except for this past text messages about Chris and his children.
No, that was it.
Okay.
That was it.
That's fine.
I mean, because he wasn't really something that I, like, super wanted everybody to know about, and I shouldn't have even mentioned it when she brought up what she had, like, going on sexually with her fiance, and it happened, but at that point...
You guys are best friends, it's understandable.
Yeah, see, and she keeps trying to talk about it. She says, if you're not under investigation by the police, I don't care. Why can't you attend your so-called best friend's father's death? It doesn't make sense to me. And all I told her was stop. She just like, yeah, and she just is like freaking out. And finally I just told her, you know, getting mad at me isn't going to bring your dad back. And that is when she chilled.
Okay.
Well, she kind of went on another rant, but it had nothing to do with Chris. And then she apologized to me this morning for being drunk and sad and angry that her dad died.
What other new information?
Okay, see, we got so much going on, I didn't even text it to myself because I can't protect this.
I'm going to make sure before you leave you see Hazel. You need to get some help.
I know, I've been asking. So he was talking for a few weeks, like he mentioned...
Give me a time frame.
Okay. So he went to North Carolina. When he came back from North Carolina, I was informed sometime either when he was on the trip or when he was like getting back, but in that area, that they filed for divorce and that they were gonna put the house up and for sale, and he was like, she is the one that called the realtor, because he told me that he had spoke to her when he was in North Carolina about it, and then the next day she was the one who called the realtor.
When you say SHANANN?
Yes.
And when you say, the time frame they came back from North Carolina, you don't remember the specific dates, but it was like the first or second week of August?
Yeah, I think I told you guys when they left. I think he left on Tuesday the 31st of July.
I do remember you saying that.
And I don't remember when he came home. I really don't. I don't remember feels like.
So is this a phone conversation or is this a text conversation?
No, this happened over the phone, and he told me that, that was when I had said, hey, when you go to North Carolina, I really think you should try to fix things with your wife, and he kept asking, well, what about us? And I was trying to kind of take a step back and see if he would fix things before attempting to pursue things with me, because I wanted to know that if all of these things he's saying, like, yes, we're getting separated, and yes, you know, all of these things that he's saying are happening, I wanted to know that it was like, you were doing this, like you said you were, prior to me coming in your life, and it had nothing to do with me, you know, and so, for me, it was like, I really wanted them to fix it. I would have just, like, left the situation.
So tell me why SHANANN calling a realtor and him mentioning that they were going to be divorced. Why do you think it's important?
Because, so after that, he was like, she's the one who called the realtor, and I remember, I was like, damn, that was fast, because I knew he told me, like, we were going to put the house up, but they said, he was like, we didn't know how much to offer for it, and we were kind of trying to find somebody, and it, like, so for the first few weeks that I hung out with him, he kind of, like, dragged his feet on, hey, this is happening, and then after North Carolina, he's like, yeah, she wants to put the house up, she's the one that called the realtor, and I was, like, kind of taken back, not necessarily at the speed of it, given how long he said that they'd been separating, but the fact that she did it, like, the day after he supposedly sat down and had a conversation with her about, hey, do we fix this, or do we not fix this relationship?
So do you remember how many days she was back in Colorado before leaving? Do you know that?
Because I don't remember when they got home.
Right.
I don't.
I'm just trying to get your memory jogged there on that. But so this was, they get home, he had told you in North Carolina that they agreed to it, and they're finalized their relationship.
Yeah.
They get home, and she immediately wants to sell the house.
Yes. And then, so, I mean, I started thinking, okay, well, I know in Colorado, houses sell very fast here. So I was like, what's your plan? You know, and I was like, because you might want to be prepared. And I remember that's when the whole concept came up of, you probably need to start looking for a new place pretty quick. And that was when he was kind of overwhelmed with it, and I told him, I was like, look, like, I just moved a few months ago, and I was like, to find a place that was comfortable for me, it was like, it took, like, a lot of research, and that's when I offered to help. I was like, I'll help you, and he seemed pretty gung-ho about it for, like, the first week, and he seemed very grateful, and I was putting in work on it, and I was like, calling him and kind of letting him know about places, and there really wasn't that many options in Brighton. I found one. I actually texted it to myself before I texted it to him, because I still have that in my phone too, because I found it and it was great, but it was like right at the beginning of my search, and I was like, I don't want to inundate him.
So you said a week. You think you worked on that for a week?
No, I only probably spent like a few hours over a few days and just trying to like line it up.
Just trying to think about how many days she had been back while you were working on that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So you said, did you actually work on it for a week straight?
No.
Okay.
It was just like a couple days after work. I would just like spend a couple hours if I had time, like at the end of my day, or if I didn't go to the gym, and just sit down and, I mean, I can give you a date on one that I worked on, because I texted that one to myself. This one, I love this one. When is this? Saturday, August 11th.
That's the night you guys went out?
Yeah.
To the lazy dog.
Yes.
Or the two lazy dogs.
Yes.
All right. What else?
Yeah, so the reason that this is important is because he, like, up to that point, seemed like he was all about it, you know, and I was respecting him. I wasn't like, oh, you need to get this, you need to get that. I was like, what city do you want to live in? What side of town is she staying in? You know, how close do you want to be to work? How close do you want to be to your kids? I mean, I asked him everything. I just wanted him to have something that was accommodating for his whole family. And he told me that she was probably going to stay in the Frederick area, but he never said for sure. The first time I asked him, he's like, I don't know where she's going to go, but she'll probably stay in this area. And I was like, Chris, if you're going to get an apartment, like, you need to figure that out, because the last thing you want is to be like an hour drive from your kids. Like, you know, you gotta be close. And so, I ended up asking him again, like a couple days later, and that was when, he was like, I think she's staying in the Frederick area, and I was like, okay. And that's when I was like, started to get details, like, where, and if you guys find my text, you'll see it, where I'm asking, like, where do you want to live? Like, how close do you want to be to work? Those things, like, you know, do you care what gym you go to? Like, what are you looking for? You know,
we talked about this previously.
Yeah. So the thing was he was like super gung-ho about it, and then on Saturday, that day, I remember being outside with him when this conversation happened, but I don't know where. I don't know if we were like walking into the restaurant or walking to the car, but I like vaguely remember being outside with him. And I was like, he had told me that he wanted to go look at some places the upcoming week. And we were supposed to go do that on Wednesday. And I was like, I asked him, I was like, what places do you want to go see? And I was like, did you really like that place that I showed you? Because it was just like super convenient for everything. And it had a little playground, and it had a pool. Like, it would have been awesome for his kids. And it was cheap. And so, and it was like close to Frederick. It was like, it was close to the gym. It was close to work. It was close to me. It was close to everything. And it was in Brighton, which is what he wanted. And so, I was like, did you want to go check that place out? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And he like didn't seem sure anymore. And that was the part that I wanted to tell you. I just figured I'd give you all the backstory.
Sure. So he's not sure about the particular apartment or about even leaving?
So he told me that he looked at it, and he told me that he thought it was nice, but it didn't really seem like his interest was that piqued. And I was like, well, did you find anything that you really wanted to look at? And he told me, yeah, that he'd found a few, but nothing that really, really piqued his interest. And I was like, well, you might want to get started. And he's like, well, I found one, and I asked him, I said, which one is it? Because I think I've looked at like every apartment in Brighton, and maybe I'll remember it. And he's like, I don't know, I don't remember the name of it. And he kind of just like disregarded it. And it was kind of strange to me because like the whole week prior, he was like so excited that I was trying to help him because he's busy, I'm busy. So I was like, you look, I'll look, let's see if we can try to narrow it down to like 4 or 5 spots, and then we'll find something that's good for you and your girls. You know, and he seemed like very enthusiastic about it. Like during the week when the conversations first really started ramping up about like, you probably got to figure something out because that house is going to sell really fast, you know, or at least be prepared. And
So why do you think he was removed or not interested on your Saturday night, wherever you guys were?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes like I think about these things and I feel like they're all assumptions, but at that point, like maybe he already knew something that I didn't. I don't know. But it was just a complete mood change where he just didn't even seem that interested. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, we don't have to do that on Wednesday if you don't want to. And he's like, no, I know I need to get it done. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
You know, because I wasn't going to like force him to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, don't do it. Just say no, you know. And I was like, and for me, I was like, I was just offering to help because it's like, I know what a tedious task it is trying to find a new place to live.
What else? Any other new info?
That part where he was just like really unplugged on Saturday, and then there was something else that went with that. Let me just think for a minute. It was, I didn't write all of that, I just wrote that part down. I can't believe I can't remember all this stuff.
Yeah, you remember so much stuff already.
Slowly comes to me all the time. Well, some of this stuff is just things that you would never think about. And now that I'm like, hindsight's 20/20, I'm like starting to go back. There was something else that happened on Saturday that had to do with all of this.
Think about it for a minute. I'm going to see if my tech guy has his
Do that.
equipment charged.
Do that.
And we'll get your phone taken care of.
Okay.
So, again, I'm going to have you sign this voluntary consent.
Yep.
It's the same thing that you signed in Thornton, saying that, you know, I didn't threaten you, intimidate you. You have a right to say no. I want you to read the document again. We're going to take your phone. We're going to use a program called Celebrate. If you go to your phone store, that's what they use. Sometimes they used to do this. They used to move your stuff back and forth. It's the same thing. They're going to take that information, and then an examiner who is skilled in looking at cell phone data is going to look at it to try to recover the deleted material that we're after.
I hope that they can
The
get
deleted material is what I'm after.
I know it is. I feel so bad that I did that. I didn't even, honestly, like, that's not even what I was thinking about. I was just so, did not want, like, any presence from him.
So you're okay with us doing
Just
everything?
take the whole phone. Just take it. Because I feel like we've been trying
I'm
to
going to
do
put
this, like,
all data on here
yeah,
just for ease,
take what
okay?
you need,
So
you know?
read that and make sure you sign it, that you understand that we're going to take all the data. Once I have all that stuff, I'll get your phone back to you.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not even going to use it anymore. I'm going to just use this.
Okay. I'm going to still get it back to you as soon as we're done.
Okay.
All right, so next week sometime maybe,
Okay.
or the week after or something like, somewhere in that time frame, okay?
Okay.
All right, relax for a minute, I'll be back in a second.
By the way, I got it.
Remember what?
In my head, what I needed to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, so, hi.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Nikki.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. So this is my original phone
Okay.
that these guys would like to have.
Mhm.
I have a lot of contacts on here that are not on the phone that I'm currently transferring to, like a lot of them. I need some of them.
Right.
It would be greatly appreciated if we could get the contacts from this phone to just go to this phone so that all the text messages and everything have like names and things
Right.
to them,
Okay.
so that I can, that's all I want to do. And I went to Verizon to switch to this phone, and all they did was give me this little sheet of paper to follow, which seems very simple, and I'm usually pretty tech savvy, except for the fact that I can't get the App Store to work on this phone, and I can't get the Wi-Fi to work on this phone. So that is the dilemma that I'm in.
All right.
But if you would be so kind as to just sync that up, then I can give them what they need, and that
I am not good on phone things.
I'm usually pretty tech savvy. After working in the oil field, you gotta get creative out there. Because they have technology, but you're like in the sticks. So everything wants to malfunction.
So are your contacts on this phone synced to the cloud, to iCloud?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, some messages came over, so I assume that everything is, but I don't really know. So maybe I'm not as tech savvy as I thought.
What'd you remember? You just said you remember something besides that.
Oh, you want to have a conversation right now?
He's an agent. He works with me. He knows about this.
I can step out if you feel more comfortable.
Oh, no, I mean, what,
It's
I
okay,
don't know,
if-
whatever.
You tell me.
He had a fire stick. He kept talking about, like, you know what a fire stick is? Okay, you probably do since you're a tech guy. They're like,
Oh, you mean like an Amazon Fire Stick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he didn't have it in his possession, but on
Who's he,
Saturday,
Chris?
yes. So Chris mentioned to me that on Saturday, that same day, because this kind of went hand in hand with the whole, like, apartment talk, because I was like, oh, that apartment that he said he found, that he was like, I was like, well, what's it called? And he's like, I don't remember. And I was like, well, how much is it? He's like, it's close to $1,100. And I was really taken back by that, because I pay more than that, and I don't really have that nice of a place, and it's not a 2-bedroom, it's a 1. So that part kind of seemed odd to me, but I'd seen a few things online that were kind of cheap, and I was just like, all right. And he's like, I'm just trying to cut costs. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, how else are you doing that? And it was just out of curiosity. And he's like, well, I decided to get rid of cable. And I was like, okay. And I was kind of taken back by that too, because he loves sports. Dude, like, lives and breathes football. So I was like, okay, and I was like, that's a good cost to, to cut back on, and he was like, yeah, I think I can still stream sports via a Fire Stick, and I've heard of those things before. I don't really know a lot about them, but he was saying that he had a buddy working on it already for him.
Who's the buddy?
He didn't say, I didn't ask.
Why do you think that's important?
That he had all that set up? I don't know. I mean, it made me believe that.
That he was ready to move out? Is that?
Oh, I
he's
get what
ready
you're
to
saying.
go?
Yeah, like he was prepping. It still sounded like he was
Okay.
prepping. I mean, everything he did sounded like he was getting ready for everything to happen. The only thing that I found really peculiar about the whole situation was the fact that he just kind of seemed disconnected about the apartment thing on Saturday, whereas in previous conversations, he was the one who brought it up, and he was the one who seemed really excited about it when I offered to help him do some, legwork on trying to find him a spot for him and his girls.
Right. I'll be right back. Okay.
So I don't know who his friend was. It was just weird, because sometimes it seemed like some of the things he said, he was still really... A lot of things he said made sense. And still to this day makes sense. And then other things that he said don't make sense at all to me anymore. Or like they changed,
Sure. Well, you know a lot more now. Well, unfortunately, you know a lot more now about terrible things that may have happened that changed the way you're thinking about what he said, too. So, making you think differently about that verbiage. Right?
Definitely.
So,
I think
we've talked a lot about a lot of different things.
I hope I'm helping you guys.
You certainly are.
I hope so, because I don't like having this stuff on the top of my head. It's so hard, and so many days I can tell that my mind is trying to, block it all out right now, and I think it's almost like a subliminal, coping mechanism, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to, think about it so that I can help you guys, and that's why
So why don't you give yourself a break for a day or two and just live a normal life. Stop thinking about this stuff for a day or two and then revisit it. Maybe that'll help you because you look like you're tired again.
I lost my job yesterday, so that's where that comes from.
You lost your job with the geosciences place as well? Okay, sorry to hear that. I think you mentioned with your skill set that you should be easily employable in another locale.
I don't know. I hope somebody hires me. I hope people don't see my name on a resume and just not hire me.
Well, your name hasn't even made it in the papers yet.
Not yet.
So, remember you said that you had some locations you could go out of state? Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're thinking or whatever's going to work for you.
Yeah. I'm thinking a lot about all of that. It's just a matter of timing and trying to figure out when to do it. Hesitant to do it all too soon and then have to do it all over again.
Tell me the name of the geosciences company. I forget. Tasman, that's right.
I think I was just so bummed because they told me that they would keep me, and then they called me back and let me go, and I was just like, man.
So did they essentially fire you, for lack of a better term? And that was yesterday?
Yeah. So they let me go because they hired me to do a contract job, and now that contract was over. It was unfortunate because Anadarko actually offered to pay me for a while, and Tasman said no. So I just wish they would have been honest with me in the first place, but it is what it is.
So now you're out looking for a job too?
I haven't even started doing that. It's not even like a priority to me at this point, but it will get dealt with. So yeah, so I need Hazel to help me out with his lease and sell my truck and change my entire life, and hopefully somebody somewhere will give me a decent job and give me a chance and not judge for all of this whole disaster. So that's why it's good.
You said Hazel was helping you out with some of your lease stuff. All right, so
Yeah.
when we're here, I think she usually comes in the afternoon today. So we'll check with her.
Hey, I think Matt just went the other way looking for me, but he'll be back eventually.
Awesome. So you must want this for something.
Probably charge my phone instead. I didn't charge it last night. I charged it.
This one? Yeah.
Here.
What's this? Oh, this is the Verizon call logs?
To the 13th.
From what date to what date? You want this one back?
It's a month.
Sorry. No, you're good.
I don't know. It's a month, so it's probably whatever 30 days was, probably July 14th, I'd assume, to August 13th. You'll see it. When you open it up, you'll see it. But it's a month. So my billing...
Can I just take this real quick and move it off your thumb drive, and I'll give you your thumb drive?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
That's yours.
You don't need this back?
No. I mean, you can give it back if you want.
Yeah, I'll just go download this to my computer real quick.
I think, so it's a month. It ends on the 13th, and that's why I was saying, when they bill me next month, then I can give you the 14th and past that. And I could have given you the 14th now, but because they haven't billed me for it, like this is in a nice PDF, but the unbilled one is like in this janky Excel format, and you could like manipulate the data. You could, I don't want to give
What
it.
is on here specifically? PDF of your complete phone bill for your cell phone?
That ends on August 13th. Everything after that, you
I'm gonna
guys
go
are
put
gonna...
this on my phone, or
Okay,
put it on my
and
computer.
my lease agreement is on there, and I told Hazel that you had it.
Okay,
So
I'll share it
that
with
to
her.
her because she needs that.
Yep, I
And
will.
then, there's also like a computer record of me talking to the Verizon wireless people, asking them if they can restore my text and what they had to say about it, just so that you guys know that I did the due diligence to attempt to do
Sure.
that.
Got it.
So those are the three things that are on there.
So the messages that synced up when you started are on this phone, right? So when she started it, this phone's like 2 years old,
Okay.
but when she turned it on, a bunch of deleted messages from Chris that were on that phone synced up.
Due diligence to attempt to do
Sure.
that.
Got it.
So those are the three things that are on there. Asking them if they can restore my text and what they had to say about it, just so that you guys know that I did the due diligence to attempt to do
Sure.
that.
Got it.
So those are the three things that are on there.
So the messages that synced up when you started are on this phone, right? So when she started it, this phone's like 2 years old,
Okay.
but when she turned it on, a bunch of deleted messages from Chris that were on that phone synced up with that phone.
Okay.
So that's the one I want to try to rip.
Okay, so we're gonna download this
Yeah,
phone, but
this
we want
one's
to get
coming
the
as evidence.
context
Yep,
on
exactly.
here.
So
Okay.
this one's going to be coming with us as evidence. That one will just rip, so she has a phone.
Okay. I need you to log into Google.
I was trying to figure this out, I don't know.
Oh, okay. That might be an issue.
I know. I mean, if you guys really can't do it, I'm sure I
Well,
can go through and figure out who is.
There's another way we can do it, or we can try.
Man, I'm usually really good about passwords, but this one. I don't know. I really don't. I was
Okay.
messing with this before you walked in here.
Okay. And that's the only way you can download apps, right?
Let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to figure
I'm
it out.
not an Android guy, so I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't used an Android phone in like 2 years.
Okay.
I guess I'll have to figure this out. That sucks, but it's okay. I'm
Well, there's another thing that we can try.
sorry for
Nope.
the inconvenience.
Did you you have text messages on? So when I looked up to
I mean,
Wi-Fi, I think you got a couple more extra.
oh, I got these. Yeah, this came in on my other phone. This was like right when I transferred.
So I think your contacts should be connected to iCloud now, so you shouldn't lose them. And we can try and use the machine that we use to download the phones can also transfer. I've never done that, so I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot.
Okay. That would be so nice, because I was looking at these messages, and I was like, oh my God, like, don't know. I mean, again, I'm sure I could figure it out pretty quick if I read the text. Look at them all.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Okay.
And so you would just save me a lot of time and stress.
Okay, and then we're keeping this one,
Yes.
downloading it, and giving it back.
Yeah, and then this one, I think he only needs one number off of, and that one you guys are taking everything.
Okay, but we're keeping this phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yours.
Okay.
Thanks.
Alright, let me go see if I can transfer the contacts.
Do you want the wall charger that goes up?
I'll just put here so I don't forget. I don't need it right now. I will be right back. Or in a little bit.
After all this happened?
On the 13th and the 14th.
What was that conversation like?
It was the 13th, it was kind of like, it was more text, and then maybe a phone call, phone call, and then she thought maybe Shanann, took off with the kids, because I was telling her I didn't know where they were, and all that. Then the 14th, I think she kind of thought something may have happened, because they had to come back.
Why do you say that she might have thought that?
She kept asking me, she was testing to see if like it was actually me on the phone. Like,
What do you mean?
like she would ask like, you know, like what's my dog's name, or like what do I like, what yoga studio do I go to, or something like that. Just like I just answer like and then like another thing about I'm not sure if this is you. Just like okay.
Is this through text or is this through calls?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible she thought you'd been arrested and we were on the phone?
More. Either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my phone, or like maybe, you know, maybe she thought it was, you know.
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No, this is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but if she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio and
Yeah.
like wouldn't
Well,
Shanann know that?
maybe she thought, you know, maybe I was with Shanann, that she was just trying to find out who she was.
Mm.
But yeah, like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
Nope.
Oh, she
That
did.
was like she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place. All this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done. She told me to delete everything. I didn't delete everything. I was okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
She told you to delete everything?
delete all conversations.
Did she tell you why?
She said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
Put it in your head or asked you to, or no, she never. I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it, sure, but she didn't want me to.
Wait, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know, because we had met.
But she didn't put that on Facebook.
That's
Like, how did she not see
I
that?
don't know. Maybe she did. She just waited for me to tell her, or she put it over and.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after him.
Think about it once it got mentioned.
I just went with it. I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it
Right there, did you guys hear that? Let me rewind just a second. Let's hear that one more time.
I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it
One more time.
I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann.
One more time.
I knew I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew through all this, I got letters from some of my friends that even said, when we went over to your house, we could see, Shanann was more of a dominant personality, and more like, you're always helping with the kids and everything, just, you're a great dad and everything. We could see, a couple things that I never saw or, whatnot. My best friend Mark even said, there's always, something, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, I never thought about that story, and, that's what my parents were going with. And then, I think it was, I never got that far, I don't know. But, I didn't want people to have to relive it every day. Yeah. Did they have to ever see the pictures? Say that again. Did they have to ever see the pictures? Frank and Sandy and all that? No. No, they never seen it. That's not some things. They didn't see anything bad. Okay. Yeah. We should go with that for now. That's one thing. I just didn't want them to have to see anything. up or that didn't match, you know, something like that. I didn't want them to hear that. Like, I didn't want, like, you know, anybody has trash for memory. Like, I wanted.
Okay, I'm gonna have to speak for 1 second. Chris just stated that his friends and all them had a negative, you know, opinion about SHANANN. And keep in mind that Mrs. Watts, you know, was in contact with these said friends. And so the negative opinion about SHANANN came from her, not from Chris. Okay? So I'm speaking truth here. And so that statement right there, I have to speak up and state that he just stated he didn't want anyone to have that impression of her, because it wasn't true. Okay? It was put in the minds of Chris's friends because so-called mother-in-law calls Chris's friends, has to get them on her side, complain about her daughter-in-law, and has to alienate and put thoughts in their mind that she's such a bad wife. When right here, you're hearing Chris state she wasn't. So when you hear Chris stated just a second ago that friends of his had negative opinions about SHANANN, well, that came from Monster-in-Law. Facts. Truth. Speaking. Truth.
Like, to know, like, she was, you know, she was loving life, she was beautiful, she always helped everybody else, all her friends.
I'm gonna back that up. So basically, guys, he had a lot of influence in his mind. He's having an affair, right? Which is with a manipulative person. So she's in his mind, stating her thoughts of Chris's relationship. Best believe she wants him to leave his wife. Guarantee you that one. And then his family and the Peanut Gate incident, and they just couldn't forgive SHANANN now. That was like the last straw for them. Well, keep in mind that you heard Chris state that his mom and his sister did not like her. Okay? So in Chris's mind, he's justifying all of this. Okay? It's like FBI stated, it's a stirring the pot. Someone's stirring the pot, okay? So he's trying to justify every bit of his actions at that time, at that given moment, before all this happened. Kessinger in his ear, his mom and his dad and his sister in his ear. Everybody's in his ear, and they're stirring that pot. And it's justifying to him. And so he has to justify in his mind, because of his guilt, that why he's cheating, why he's having an affair on such a wonderful wife, a wonderful woman, a wonderful mother. All of this is justifying to already a tormented, sick person that he's become. That in 6 weeks, he has changed. And so in 6 weeks that he's changed, you have 4 people stirring a pot. And they're stirring it, and they're stirring it. And so it allows him to justify what he had planned and the actions that he took. He needed to justify. And so when they would say something negative, that, oh, she said this, instead of taking up for your wife immediately because your daughter's life was put in danger, you're too busy with Kessinger having an affair. And so when your family is speaking negative about your wife, like they always did, you're allowing it, and you're going, you know what? That's my excuse. You gave me my excuse. Exactly why, I don't need to be with her. It's called enabling. And enabling that behavior, okay? Not condoning it. I'm going to attach to this video some evidence, okay, that Ronnie and Cindy and Jamie and all of them knew that Chris was having an affair. And I'm going to attach it to this video. And also that on the 13th, Kessinger makes a phone call to North Carolina, okay? Who did she call? If they didn't know anything about the affair, if she wanted to keep all this a secret and everything else. But you just heard Chris a second ago state that, they knew that he was talking to somebody on the phone, and what he's actually saying, if you don't listen to what he's saying, is that, yes, his family was fully aware. Because in interrogation, like I stated before in my other videos, when he states to his dad, oh, they know about the affair. And his dad says, oh, they did? They do? Instead of, what? You had an affair? They were fully aware of this affair. And I'm going to attach proof, okay? Evidence. Like I said, a pathological liar lies, and a liar forgets the lies that they tell, okay? And so the evidence that I'm going to attach to this video is also going to show you that Cindy was fully aware of Kessinger, and Kessinger made a phone call to Cindy on the 13th, August the 13th, 2018. A very lengthy phone conversation with Cindy. So you best believe she was condoning that behavior. Fully supporting him having an affair. His whole family supported him having that affair. So I hope all of this helps everyone get a better understanding. And look forward to my Let Shanann Be Heard video, because that's going to be a good one. And Shanann will be heard. She'll finally be heard. God bless everybody.
I can kind of sense maybe something's going on. I think he was texting the entire time I was over there. They can kind of see, like, I was texting somebody. But it was like, it